Hello. In this video, I want to go over how you manually adjust a student's learning path. Now, why would we want to adjust a learning path? Well, if a student takes a diagnostic, sometimes as a classroom teacher, you know that the result of that diagnostic may end up being either too advanced for that student, maybe too low for that student, or in the case of maybe learning support teachers or in regards to instructional specialists, maybe you want to target specific skills that were not identified as part of that diagnostic assessment. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can do that. So again, we jump into the system and we start at the teacher landing page, and up in the black box, we can target our subject. In this case, again, I will do math. I can look at the knowledge map for the student, which is the way that I can see exactly where my students are in their learning paths. And I see student 5 here, and they are working at 4th grade skill number 1. Well, as the teacher, I know that this may be a little bit more advanced than where my student actually is, and maybe the student needs to work in some 3rd grade skills first. So to adjust the learning path, I can go into the actual student, so click on their name in the roster, and it brings up their record. If I start in their learning path, so that is already highlighted by default, I can go down to skills, and from that skills menu, over on the right-hand side, I see the option to edit learning path placement. Once I click on there, I can identify exactly where I want my student to start. And I can take and lower the grade levels or raise them if I so choose, whatever's most appropriate for your student. In this case, I'm going to take my 4th grade student all the way down to 3rd grade. But what's important to note here is not only do you need to change the grade, but you also need to identify the skill. So in the case of algebra and expressions, if I want to take them all the way back to the beginning of 3rd grade, I would choose the first item in each one of these lists. I also have the ability to skip some of those skills if I so choose. So in this case, maybe I don't want to start them on interpreting multiplication and division. Maybe they are at the level of multiplying and dividing within 100. So I can pick and choose each one of those skills. Once I have identified exactly where they need to be, and I have adjusted their grade levels and their skills, all I have to do is click Save Skill Placement Changes. This will give me an opportunity to confirm. In this case, I am sure that that's where I want to go. So once I save that learning path, and I return back to my class and look at that knowledge map and refresh that knowledge map, we are now going to see that student 5 is down at the 3rd grade first skill. Also notice that because I adjusted their levels, some of these other topics in regards to the domain of algebra and expressions, these light blue, these are all skipped because I went up in that grade level. So this student will work in skill 1, skill 2, and then skip up to skill 8 in their learning path. That is how you manually adjust a student's learning path.